you'd like to have.
Hello, welcome to a race analysis at the Herbalife trucking facility in Kernersville, North Carolina. I had no plan coming into this, so, heard 2 cash creams and figured, what the heck, let's attack and see what sticks. I'd been racing a lot of these local crits in the Raleigh-Durham, kind of like Winston-Salem area, and they're in the 3-4 field. A lot of the times people just kind of tend to just wait for something to happen, but I kind of wanted to spice it up a little bit. So I took the first lap pretty hard and settled right under threshold, so that got a good 10-15 seconds off the main field almost immediately, and then I just kind of hung out there. I think everybody just kind of expected me to just kind of float right on back, but what I wanted to do was try and bait some of the faster guys out and speed the field up. I do want to apologize for the grinding. I need to adjust my front derailleurs. I know it's kind of annoying. But today, so you can see the downward wind arrows on the back side of the course. We had a fairly strong headwind. It wasn't extraordinary, but it was just enough to be annoying. Nobody bit. So jumping ahead here, I was settled at just below threshold, so I kind of slowly watched the front of the field kind of catch up to me. They caught me about lap 4. I was holding about 26 miles an hour, so finally got a good group of guys up at the front. At this point, the field isn't split off just yet, but it's strung out pretty far. I figured if we're going to keep the momentum up like this, I need to slot right back in. Otherwise, if I get tailed off, this group of guys is strong enough to create some splits. And if I miss a breakaway there, that's going to be a break that laps the field. And I did jump ahead a little bit to about when the field started to split off. Currently in this front breakaway, we've got Aaron from Gigawatt up at the front. Some guy in a green kit, someone who looks like he's Aaron's teammate, but he isn't, and then 2 guys from Greensboro, and then we also have Jared from New Type Cycling. We have a little bit of disorganization in the group, actually quite a lot, but I'm banking on the fact that we have 2 Greensboro guys together, and one of them is going to close it. I figured this is still really early in a break. I think Aaron coming off the front like that may not be the best because we've got 4 or 5 guys that are pretty motivated to bring him back, but I just don't want to be the one to do it. So by not expending a ton of energy attacking up the hill and surging off, I'm going to try and catch these guys on the back end. There's going to be a tailwind section and a crosswind section where I was going to slingshot past each of them to try and catch back up to Aaron. So the long haul strategy worked in this case. It took about 2 laps to catch back up to Aaron. I kind of took this as kind of like a staggered start kind of thing where we both have good steady state power. If he has a head start, it's, we've got a fairly good gap on the field and we're leaving a bunch of people from the initial breakaway behind us. So I'm willing to commit the energy over a longer period of time to catch back up to him. And now that I have, there's one guy from Greensboro who had kind of caught back onto me. He's latching onto me and Aaron, and we kind of established this 3-person breakaway. Except Joel from Greensboro, in very coherent, not ragged breath, says, "Sorry man, I don't got it." And I'm thinking, this guy's punking me. He's trying to just latch on, not do any work, and bring Aaron and I back to the field so that him and his teammates can try and take the win. And when Joel does pull, he's pulling really, really short. So we've got a guy in the breakaway who's pretty committed to not doing a lot of effort. What do you do? So yes, Joel is pulling, but he pulls on the slight downhill around the corner at super low watts and then pulls off immediately.
No free rides! I don't have it. Sorry.
I mean, listen to how clearly he says, "I don't have it." Like, it's just not convincing at all. if he doesn't have it, I'm thinking like, all right, man, well, get out, and then Aaron and I can work. Which, I mean, so if he doesn't want this breaker to work, he doesn't have to pull, which is a fair tactic. So I decided that we need to try and do something. Aaron and I are committed to doing some work in this, and I was going to take a little bit of a gamble. So my intent was to let Aaron pull off the front up the hill. I know I can take this corner really fast and just rail it. So if Aaron can get a gap, I hit the corner really hard, then that creates space between me and Joel. And if Joel actually doesn't have it in his legs, he's going to fly off the back, and then it's Aaron and me that are going to be able to, start working together to seal in first and second place.
I need to rest for a second.
I wish I had a rear cam, so that plan did work. I was able to shake Joel off and get back up to Aaron, and he completely volunteers. He says, I'll work. So this is where the breakaway between me and Aaron, I think there's a lot of takeaways that can be done from this, mostly on how Aaron did it right, and I expended a lot of energy I didn't need to. Tip 1, I catch back up to Aaron, and he says he'll work. Not even a fourth of a lap later, I just catch 2 or 3 breaths, and then I said, all right, man, I'm good to go. I wasn't. Look at my heart rate. This is pretty close to my max. I was not feeling ready to go. And if we have a huge gap on the field, which we did, we had some room to breathe. So I didn't need to get up and start pulling right away like I did. I'm gonna go ahead and time cut a few of these parts out just to kind of show the rhythm that we get into. I pull in the headwind, break. Aaron pulls in the tailwind, pulls off in the crosswind, and again, I pull in the headwind. Headwind. I took an extra long pull and pulled off again in the tailwind. Aaron finally took a pull in the headwind, but next lap, headwind. One more time, headwind, except this time, now the peloton's in front of us, and I get super excited, and I'm like, all right, time to close this down. Meanwhile, Aaron is just sitting in behind me. I'm sure doing probably like 20-30% less power than I'm putting out and trying to bridge this back up to lap the field. And check this out. The second that we attach, Aaron starts pulling her on the side with gusto. And 30 minutes into this 45-minute crit, I am just praying that the field is just too prideful to get lapped twice by a solo rider. So I'm at the back of the main field, watching Aaron just roll off the front after our breakaway. And I'm just thinking, man, all I need is this front needs to string out, and I'm gonna have to slingshot again and just expend all this energy to try and catch back up to him. Because if he goes, he is gone. Finally caught back on to the tail of this lead group, but even then, it is just splintering. and we're going right back into the same rhythm we were before, where I pull in the headwind.
Yeah, you're doing good.
The last, 3 laps to go. He's like, "Hey man, time for you to pull," and we're in the headwind. I finally I'm like, "Nah, man, you're doing a great job on your own." But if I keep succumbing to the same pattern, I'm going to have thrown all opportunities for me to win out the window. So I hammer it up and over the top of the hill, try and create some separation, and managed to hold a decent little gap. I think Joel got in behind me and started slowing down. Aaron got stuck behind him, and now I've got some room to work with. Last lap to go, I've still got about 5 seconds lead, and just need to hang on to the finish line.
Fuck.
Sure, you might think it's poor form, but at this point I kind of tapped out. I didn't have very much left in my legs. I laid down what I had with 4 to go. Aaron beat me, so all in all, good race, and that is how to not ride a breakaway.